Ooh, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. My name is Hanna Olivas. I'm here today with my amazing co host, Angela Bell. Today is our very first episode of Mompreneur Mondays. And we're super excited to be here with you. I want to let Angela just tell us a little bit about herself, who she is, what she does. And then we're
Mhm.
going to talk about mompreneuring. Welcome, Angela.
Thank you, Hannah, and good morning, everybody. It's great to be here. I'm really excited about these Mompreneur Mondays. So, my name is Angela Bell, and I'm the founder of the Inspired and Profitable Mompreneur. I'm also a mom to 7-year-old twins, two dogs, 10 chickens, and a fantastic husband. So, I'm in there. I get it. I understand the day-to-days of mompreneurship because I also have my businesses. Um, and what I do is I actually help moms start and grow their own businesses so they can create time and financial freedom for themselves and their families. I truly believe moms make the best entrepreneurs and that, focused moms will change the world. So I'm really happy to be here.
Well, it's funny that you say that because I am a statistic fanatic. Numbers do not lie. And one
Hmm.
thing that I did in our research for the next few weeks is I kind of wanted to see, where do mompreneurs fit in terms of the financial world? How much do we contribute? What do those numbers look
Hmm.
like? And some facts that I found out is during the pandemic, 14 million women left the workforce either because their jobs were eliminated or they needed something more to cover
Hmm.
what was happening in the world. There was a lack of funding, there was a lack of finance. Women had to really figure some things out, and a lot of them left the workforce and became mompreneurs.
Hmm.
um, as many of you know, and this is just as of May of 2022, 1 in 3 businesses is currently owned and operated by a mom, which means that there's 4.7 million businesses owned by mompreneurs, which
Hmm.
means that we are creating jobs for women. We are making a huge impact in the economy. And so I think that's such an incredible foundation that we've created. And that's why we're doing Mompreneur Mondays. We want to continue the growth. We want to
Hmm.
see other moms step into that mom empowerment, so to speak. So
Yes.
that was my little nugget, if you want to add in there.
Absolutely. No, and it's amazing when we think about it because we have those kinds of statistics and then you think about all the things that moms do. In my mind, they're natural entrepreneurs, right? Everything that a mom does as a mom, you can parallel to what you're doing as an entrepreneur, right? So they're just almost made for it. Now, the funny thing is that while there's a growth in mom entrepreneurship, um, there's not the same amount of support out there, right? So that's one of the big things here is making sure that we're supporting each other, we're supporting mompreneurs and the mompreneurs in our life. But the best thing about women and moms in business is, like you said, we raise each other up, right? When we get to the top, we turn around and we put our hand back down to see who's behind us to bring with us. And that is so impactful because not only are we employing other moms and other women, but we're leading the way and we're showing them, right? We don't leave people behind. We bring them with us, and that just empowers the whole group. So it's fantastic.
Absolutely. Some of the things that I think we as moms all go through or experience, is while we're trying to run our household, be this incredible mom to our children, be this incredible wife, be this incredible business owner, whatever hat you're wearing,
Mm-hmm.
we have to focus on so many aspects because it's like a juggling act. And I talk
Mm-hmm.
about this in the book Mompreneur.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to focus on, like, what are some things that we go through? We go through poor self-care.
Yep.
We don't always get the support that we need from our
Mm-hmm.
closest family and friends. In other words, we're not taken seriously.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times there's lack of funding. There's this thing that we all deal with called mom guilt. where we feel like, oh my gosh, we're not spending enough time with our children. We're focusing more on our
Mm-hmm.
business. And, so we have to find, solutions to these things that we go through. And what are
Mm-hmm.
some of those solutions? Because we all experience it. Every single one of us does. So I want to start out with my number one solution to all of this is understanding time management and time blocking. And how does that become advantageous to us as mompreneurs? And before we started this live, you kind of shared a little something that you do, if you want to share. And ladies, we're going to dive deeper into this particular topic next week. So we're just going to touch base on some things. This is our first episode, but I did want you to share what you told me.
About the power of 15 minutes or the timers?
Yes, the power of 15 minutes.
Okay, so yeah, this is something I love to speak with my clients about because it's actually quite life-changing when you really think about it. And it's called the power of 15 focused minutes. Because oftentimes we as moms, especially, but we as women, when we sit down and we make our to-do lists, we set these goals, but we also think that working on projects takes hours, right? If I'm going to work on my business, I need to be investing an hour into it. Well, when you really take a look at our never-ending to-do list, which includes keeping people alive, relatively cleaned, loved, and managing a household on top of extended family, what have you, finding an hour seems hopeless. But there's this beautiful thing, Parkinson's law, which says that the amount of time it takes to complete a task expands or contracts based on how much time you have available. So, and you know this, if you've ever found out that in 20 minutes your in-laws are about to walk through that door and your house is a mess, you know how fast that house gets cleaned. You do. So using that, I started looking at this idea that, okay, well, what can we do? And I was like, well, 15 minutes feels like, it feels like something I can wrap my head around. It's not too big where I'm going to be like, but it's not 5 minutes where I'm like, what a write-off. And if you sit and focus on something for 15 minutes, like even focusing on your business for 15 minutes a day, first, yeah, it feels small, but then over time, you start to look back and go, oh my gosh, what have I accomplished? Like all this stuff got done. And you can find 15 minutes. So it's not going to overwhelm you to look at it. So I love to start there because it's so doable and it actually has such a powerful impact.
So that kind of goes into,
timers.
you're saying
Are
the
you
power of
sorry?
15 minutes. The power of 15 minutes. You can get so much done. It does go into that time blocking, that time management. And, ladies, it doesn't happen overnight. This requires accountability and self-discipline to say, okay, so for 15 minutes, this is my goal. For 15 minutes, I'm going to do this, and we have to set realistic goals in life with our children, in our health, and in our business. If they're not realistic goals, you're not going to meet them because they're not realistic, and then you get burnt out, you become discouraged, you lose that passion. So part of that time blocking, time management, why it is so important is so that you're not burning out at both ends. You're actually holding yourself accountable and you're teaching yourself, like, look, this is the system that works for me. So for Angela, it's the power of 15 minutes. For me, I do 60. I block out 60 minutes and I do my schedule ahead of time, at least as much as possible. So setting those realistic financial and business and life goals will be so detrimental to your success, time blocking. But another one too is working on your business versus working in your business. In other words, learning to remove yourself from the inside of it and be able to work on the outside, on what's going around. And a lot of us do both. We're control fanatics. The business is our baby. Nobody can do it like we can. And this is where you have to learn the difference between working in it, working on it, delegating, asking for help is so important. And if you cannot afford an employee, then this is even more important. Why? Time blocking, setting those realistic goals, and learning the difference between working on and working in your business matters. So, for those of you who have not taken the plunge into mompreneurship, these are some really incredible things to take into consideration, because being a business owner is not always easy. It requires huge amounts of dedication, grit, passion, and there's just going to be those days that we all experience where we're like, here we go. So you constantly have to be doing things to keep yourself motivated. You're your own accountability partner.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot as well, it comes down to like doing the mindset work as well, right? And that's a big one that for me with mompreneurs is, I mean, a lot of the challenges and roadblocks we run into that aren't, typical business challenges come from mindset issues or from, comparison or letting the outside in. I always say, where it's like we let other people's opinions of what we should be, should do, where we should be doing it, how we should be doing it, get inside. And that's where a lot of the guilt comes from and a lot of this other stuff. And it's, if we work on our mindset and we get clear about, what's our priorities, what are we aiming for, what matters to us, then we can kind of get rid of some of that other stuff and deal with the actual business problems, like the things that actually come up business related, not, I don't know if they like me, right?
Yeah, I mean, we all suffer from some form of imposter syndrome. We go through it. There is a cure. It's not something that we're stuck in all the time. The comparison, the doubt, those little thoughts that pop through, like, am I good enough for this? Do I have the expertise? Am I educated enough? And the answer is yes, you are good enough. Yes, you are educated. And yes, you can do this. It's just a matter of, sometimes I always say don't change the goal, but you might have to change the plan on how to reach the goal. And sometimes that is going back to the basics, focusing on your mindset, reestablishing some new ways to run your business. It could be a lot of different things. It could be, and also if your personal life, like your family life isn't really in sync, then it kind of throws off everything else. And we all go through that too. We can have plan A, B, C, all the way to Z. I mean, as a mom, what happens when our child goes to school and we get the call, hey, your child got hurt today. Hey, your child's sick. What do? We have to drop what we're doing and go pick up our babies and be mama. So we have to have, plans and action in case of those days. And we'll talk about that more because that goes into being an automated mompreneur. There's so much more, but the basics are this: your time blocking, working on your business, and not just working in it, setting those realistic goals, really evaluating where you are right now in your business is huge. And trust me, that's going to be a never ending thing. As we know, we're constantly evaluating our business and how to make things better, how to make our customers or clients feel that they are the one and only person who exists in the world. But we also have to make our children feel like they are the one and only who exists too. So having that balance. Another one of my favorites too in the mompreneur world is collaboration. Finding that collaborative partner that you can do things with, building your network, because the saying goes, building your network is your net worth. But giving, actually having your mompreneur tribe, your collaboration, because then you can lean in for ideas, you can lean in for help, inspiration, empowerment, all kinds of good stuff. So that's another thing that I love in terms of mompreneurship.
Yeah, I love what collaboration tells our subconscious mind, right? I mean, this idea of competition tells us that resources are limited, money is limited, clients are limited, whereas collaboration really tells us there's plenty out there for all of us. So let's help help everybody get there, right? And it's the new way of doing business. And what I love most, and one of my big things about mom entrepreneurs and supporting them, is we're ushering in that new way of business where it doesn't have to be hustle all the time. It doesn't have to be cutthroat. It can be honest, it can be caring, it can be collaborative, and it can be win-win for everybody. And it's just such an uplifting future to look at.
Right, because when you're doing things alone, you get lonely. I mean, the
Yeah.
reality is, but when you have your she tribe surrounding you, or your mompreneur empowerment tribe, or whatever that is, or when you're working on projects that give back to the people, to your client or to your community, it's you're not only are you feeling good, but you're helping those that surround you to feel good too, and feel a part of something. So instead of cutting one another down, or saying, oh well, she does the same thing that I do, so how is that going to work? And that'll be another topic we talk about, because yes, there are hundreds of thousands of women coaches. There are hundreds of thousands of women coaches who are in the same arena. It doesn't matter. We each have our own forte. We each have our own expertise, our own niche. And that ideal client that we're looking for will find us, and we will find them. So as soon as we get that mindset that, hey, there is enough room, everything else is kind of a cakewalk from there, because you will align with the right people. Another thing about mompreneurs, we definitely have to learn to say a 2-letter word. No. You cannot do everything.
No.
Some things are just not in alignment. Sometimes the timing isn't right. It doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means right now, today, my answer is no. Or it could be that it will never be right, or it's not meant for us. And we have to learn how to decipher and how to say no. And we can't do everything. We cannot conquer the world. We can do parts, we can contribute, but we can't do it all. So learning to say no is a huge factor, because it goes into alignment with the self-care and that burnout. And you want to avoid burnout. So learning to say no is super huge, at least for me.
No, absolutely. And learning that it's not our job to fix everyone, and that it's not our business's job to fix everything, right? I mean, we want to help, but and that's great, but it's it's okay if we're not the one to make it right. It's okay if we let somebody else do it. And I think a big one too is learning that it is actually good when we say to our kids, mommy's focusing on something, that we're not hurting them by having a business and focusing on it. In fact, we're teaching them great things and letting them know that, we have things to work on. And when we're with them, they're going to get our full attention, is actually really good. So, I mean, there's a great, lesson to be learned there for so many of us in being okay with doing what we need to do, or what not even need, right? Getting rid of the shoulds and the needs, doing what we want to do, what we get to do.
Right. I think including, and we'll talk about this too, including our children in our business in some way, shape, or form. Number one, you're being an exceptional example on how to be an entrepreneur. You're teaching them accountability. You're teaching them discipline. You're teaching them time blocking. You're helping them and teaching them how to set realistic goals. And it's such a huge thing. Like my 10-year-old, she knows everything I do. She knows all my clients. Oh, you're talking to so-and-so today? She could probably go on and set up a StreamYard if she wanted to. That's the reality. So our children are sponges. They watch every single thing that we do. So, there's so much more into when someone says, I'm a mompreneur. I commend all the mothers out there who are running a full-time business and being full-time mothers to 1 or 10 children. It is not easy. And there is a system that exists for each one of us. And we're just here to educate you on some of our strategies, to empower you, to inspire you, and let you know that you have this foundation and platform to utilize for your mompreneur business. So before we head out today, I wanted Angela to share with you a little bit about some of the things that she's working on. She has an incredible podcast. She has an incredible TV show. She has something coming out very soon. So if you want to share some of that with the audience?
Absolutely. So, yeah, as Hannah mentioned, I've got the Inspired and Profitable Mompreneur podcast, which is, I mean, it's a treat for me to record. It's great for moms, especially mom entrepreneurs, to listen to. We're always sharing new tips and techniques and new, guests that come in to talk about, things that are relevant to our lives and share resources to help us. Same, the Inspired and Profitable Mompreneur TV show, or IPM for short. Got some great guests on there. You got to check out the episodes. It's great. The anthology is coming out in October of this year, and that's very exciting. So it's called Mom Magic, and the focus is all about highlighting the magic that moms bring to the world. And we're focusing on mompreneurs in the first series, first edition. And then the magazine will be coming out shortly as well. So lots of really exciting things going on. And all of these things can be found either on my Facebook page or my Instagram, i.am.angelabell, on the website, www.angelabell.ca. And I believe on the She Rises Studios website as well. And
You
yeah.
are. Yeah, so thank you,
Yes.
all you mamas who turned in to watch us today. We will be back next week. Mompreneur Monday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to talk to you about time blocking. We're actually going to break it down and show you some strategies that may help with inside your business. She Rises Studios podcast comes out every single Wednesday. We have a new episode that airs at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And you can always go to sherisesstudios.com for the latest updates on events and different things that we have coming out. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Angela, for co-hosting with me today.
Oh, thank you,
Great
Hannah.
way to start the week. All you ladies have a wonderful day.
Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.